Well, hello again. It's good to be with you. Just come back from another super duper ride. Awesome out there. Autumn is fantastic. Roads are quiet. Sun's out. It's really, really glorious. Wanted to share with you today good to great to legacy and chat a little bit about that and how wisdom fits in. But through our last videos, we've had a couple of questions and people have asked me just to recap quickly RQ, EQ and WQ. So let's put it in a nutshell. RQ is the intelligence quotient. It's your knowledge, it's how you think, it's your ability to think, it's your ability to represent all the data and information that you have. So it's about information gathering, and it's about learning. EQ is the emotional quotient. So EQ is how you've developed from an emotional perspective, how you engage the world, how you communicate, how you engage people around you. It's the emotional expression of the human being. Where WQ is around wisdom. It's about your ability to discern and judge what is true and real and right, and how to make the correct decisions at the correct times in the correct places. So we got that, put that in a nutshell quickly. RQ is about knowledge, EQ is about emotion, WQ is about wisdom. Fantastic, because we're going to bring the WQ concepts into our discussion a little bit today, where we talk about good to great to legacy. So while I was riding today, I was thinking it's quite an apt time to talk about good to great to legacy. We've got the Rugby World Cup coming up, we've got the Cricket World Cup, and we often ask ourselves the question, so many teams or people have such awesome technical capability, RQ, how come they're not winning World Cups? Well, let's talk a little bit about good to great to legacy. If I talk about the word legacy, what springs to mind? Who springs to mind? I can think of quite a few people off the top of my head. Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, Bill Gates, Einstein. These are people that you know. As soon as I mention them, Pele, you know them. You know who they are, irrespective of whether you're involved in that field or that arena or even have an interest in that space. You know those names. You know those people. Why? Because they've left a legacy. What has made them legacy people? So being good, let's go back a step. You can be average your whole life, and you can walk through life being that person who does everything well. Nothing wrong with that. Then you move from that space to being good. And we believe being good is about being technically competent and great. So take your RQ and apply it and execute it and put it into operation. That is being good. And lots of good people spring to mind. I mean, I'm a soccer fan, so I quite enjoy soccer. And I think of people like a Harry Kane, for example. Harry Kane is really, really good. I mean, he's above the average. Great RQ, awesome technical skills. That's what makes good people. Then many people have written books about moving from good to great. And what makes somebody great? Well, we believe it's a combination of RQ and EQ. Let's take a person like Lionel Messi. He's great. I mean, his technical capability is superb on the field, far surpasses many people. So his RQ is very high. His behavior and approach on the field, his engagement with people in terms of communication, his brand that he's put out there tells us that he's got a very high EQ as well as RQ. And a combination of that EQ and RQ has made him great. So he's moved from good to great. But what makes a person move from good to great to legacy? Legacy, we believe, is about psychological and behavioral attributes, the wisdom component. So to leave a legacy or to be a legacy person, you need to have great RQ, great EQ, and WQ. Would you agree? Awesome. Let's unpack the word legacy a little bit so that we can establish what are the behavioral attributes. And this brings us a little bit closer and edges us in to our 4-7-12 program. So we've said that leaving a legacy or being a legacy person is about your psychological and behavioral attributes. So we've unpacked the word legacy and we've given each letter in the word legacy a psychological or behavioral attribute. So let's unpack it and let's understand it a little bit better. So the L for us would be about leadership and learning. Now there are many discussions about leadership, but we believe that good leaders continually learn. They're not people who get to the space they're in and remain there. They're not stagnant. They continually learn. They continually take cues from the environment and the people around them, and they continually engage and learn. You can't have leadership, or at least good leadership, without learning. The E is about enthusiasm and energy. Now you cannot leave a legacy and you cannot make that impact you want to unless you are energetic about what you do and you're enthusiastic about what you do. How many times have we said, you can feel the presence of somebody else. You can feel when somebody comes into a room. Yes, it's about being charismatic, but it's also about the energy people bring out. And it's about how enthusiastic they are. And you can't be enthusiastic and energetic up to a point and then leave it there. This is a behavioral attribute that you'll need to carry through your entire life to leave that legacy. The G is about growing and giving. You need to continually grow. Remember we said in the last scene, WQ was about continually adapting and changing, continually learning. So you need to continually grow. And you need to give back to the space that you're in. If you look at all the legacy leavers, they have given back to that arena and the bigger society and the broader world. They've given back their knowledge, their technical skills, their understanding, even financially. So growing and giving. The A is about attitude and attention. You have to have the correct disposition and attitude to go out there and make that difference. But you cannot have the correct attitude if you're not paying attention to your surroundings, if you're not paying attention to your environment and the people, and you're not receiving from the space that you're in. You need to pay attention in the space that you're in. The C in legacy is about compassion and caring. You're not going to be a legacy leaver without compassion for your fellow people. And that's not compassion in terms of contributing money and helping out financially. That's being truly compassionate and caring about the world around you and about the people you engage with, developing them, growing them, taking an interest in them, listening to them. We've talked about continually receiving from the environment, learning, growing. You need to demonstrate the compassion and the caring. And the Y is for yearning and unyielding. And obviously the unyielding is a capital Y. Fantastic. You've got to have that fire in your stomach, that yearning to achieve what you want to achieve and to make that difference. And you need to be unyielding in your pursuit. Trust me, and you probably know, you're going to be faced with many, many challenges. People who tell you you can't, you don't have the ability, so many obstacles in the way, don't have money, people won't support you. You need to be unyielding in your pursuit of your dream and your legacy. So that's legacy for us. We unpack it, we give you great behavioral attributes, and part of this is unpacked in the 4-7-12 program. You want to move from good to great to legacy. You need to move from IQ to EQ and IQ to EQ and IQ and WQ. Wisdom first. Remember, always keep 2 wheels on the ground and 2 words in your mind. Wisdom first, because the story is yours. Have a groovy day. See you for the next one about the 8 deadly sins that prevent us from acquiring wisdom. Ciao for now.